And the Padres, with the Dodgers taking the opener 4-0, the combined no-hitter on Friday night. Then the Padres coming back with a 7-4 win in Game 2 last night. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and these Dodgers with this lineup presented by 76. Chris Taylor's had a good series and he'll lead things off today with Kike Hernandez batting second and playing second. Matt Kemp has also had a big series, 4 hits including a home run last night. Bellinger bats clean up, then it's Barnes and Farmer. Alex Verdugo's in left, and Tim Locastro got his first career major league hit on Friday night. Starts again in center field. They face off with the 22-year-old Eric Lauer, who started this season in AAA and today makes his 3rd major league start.
Very small sample size, so when you talk about Eric Lauer, you do talk about his fastball, and that has gotten hit by the big leaguers so far at above 500 average. But he has an outstanding cutter that has been very effective, and the curveball has been good. So as he's established those and used those a little bit more, his performance has changed over time.
We've talked about the soft landing the Dodgers have given Walker Buehler with his first 2 starts in the majors. Much the opposite for Eric Lauer, whose big league debut came at Coors Field, and he gave up 7 runs over 3 innings. Off we go in the finale with a strike on Chris Taylor. So 7 runs in 3 innings in his debut. Gave up 3 runs in the first inning against San Francisco Monday, and then proceeded to throw 4 scoreless to finish that outing. And he said, kind of like you mentioned, he had been too fastball reliant in the first outing and in the first inning on Monday. Success happened once he started to mix in those off-speed pitches.
A 22-year-old with adrenaline flowing through your body, getting his first couple big league starts, and now his 3rd. The thing that you'll get is you'll start to feel like you're overthrowing. You'll start to feel like you have so much energy, and location is hard.
He gets Chris Taylor swinging for the first out of the game.
It wasn't hard right there. That was very good. Outer half on the edge.
Up comes Hernandez. Lauer is the 2nd pitching product out of the 2016 draft the Dodgers have seen this weekend. Joey Lucchesi started on Friday night. And now it's Lauer, who is a 1st-round pick that year. Starts Hernandez with a strike. 1st-round pick out of Kent State in Ohio, which is where he grew up. Brings in 0-1 and misses ball 1. Kike had a pinch hit opportunity yesterday, struck out, but a homered on Friday night. And on a 1-1 pitch, he cuts over at strike 2.
Very obvious it's going to be the best weather we played in all 3 games. Beautiful day.
Nice to kind of see some of the backdrop here in Monterey, the Mountain City. To the back door for strike 3, and back-to-back Ks open the day. So 2 out, and up comes Matt Kemp as we take a look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Another big weekend for him against his old team. And how about these numbers against San Diego this year? 3 of his 5 home runs have come against the Padres.
And he will not wait long. He's attacking the first pitch. His home run came on a first pitch. Straightaway center field.
On an 0-1. Watches that one miss away. And especially good against the Padres, but quietly his averages climbed to .330, which is 3rd best in the National League. 2-1. It was actually fairly cool last night. Temperature dropped down into the low 60s, low 80s today. 3-1 count on Kemp.
It's been a lot of fun to watch the resurgence of Matt Kemp, kind of the fountain of youth, the way he's gone about his business, getting prepared for this season, and then seeing the production in spring training, and then peaking as the season started.
Drives this ball to left center field and deep. Matt Kemp has extra bases again. Despite the effort from Margot in center, it's a 2-out double.
Continues to swing the hot bat, threads the needle in the left center gap, barely gets this out of Margot's reach. An outstanding effort by the center fielder for the Padres. Matt Kemp is swinging a magic wand, and he has been awesome.
Gets Bellinger to the plate with 2 out here in a scoreless first inning. Had Friday night off, then went 0 for 4 in last night's 7-4 loss. Takes strike 1. That win for the Padres last night was their first against the Dodgers this year. Dodgers have won 4 of the 5 meetings. San Diego's 12-22 overall. Only the Reds in the National League have a worse record. The Padres today in this rubber match trying to win their first series in more than 3 weeks. Lauer deals 0-1 and misses ball 1. The Dodgers 15-18, and even with the loss yesterday, trying to finish off the road trip by winning 4 of 5 after they lost 7 of 8. Lauer to Bellinger, 1-1. That's ball 2.
Cody looks very comfortable in the box, left on left. First time he's seen this pitcher for sure. And Lauer has not thrown him a curveball, nothing that's going to make him buckle.
Kemp at second, 2 out, and a 2-1 is lifted foul, 2-2. So Lauer drafted in 2016, debuted in the minors that year, split last year in A-ball and Double-A, a couple starts in Triple-A this year before his major league debut at the age of 22. Here he comes with a 2-2 to get Bellinger swinging. And around the double from Kemp, he strikes out 3 in the first. Ross Stripling to the mound in this series finale when you come back. Here's the lineup that they send out for Game 3, presented by 76. Jankowski, Hosmer, and Villanueva at the top. Cordero bats clean up. Then it's Perella and Galvis. Manny Margot in center. A.J. Ellis, the old Dodger, doing the catching for Eric Lauer. With Kershaw to the DL, with Rich Hill pushed back to Tuesday, it's Ross Stripling making his second start of the week, having allowed 4 runs on 8 hits over 4 innings on Monday in Arizona.
He has done everything for the Dodgers, and when I reviewed his stats, starter to reliever, his confidence that he has and the confidence the Dodgers have in him, he pitches the best under the high leverage situations. And so I think that as a starter coming out of the bullpen, there probably is a little bit of kind of easing into it, and I don't think he should do that. He should be super aggressive like he is out of the bullpen. Maybe take a page out of Kenta Maeda's book.
Working on Travis Jankowski to start the day, and he's ahead of him 0-2. Did have a relief inning on Thursday in that day game in Phoenix. Went 1-2-3. Whatever the Dodgers need, Ross Stripling has been there for him. Strike 3 over the outside corner on Jankowski in a decent sized zone so far from Alfonso Marquez, who, by the way, is the first Mexican-born umpire in the major leagues. Getting to call balls and strikes in the finale here in Monterey.
Ross Stripling with a little tail to his fastball. I like adding a little movement to the fastball. It's been hit by the league thus far this year at 400. So I don't think it should be straight. Should look for a little cutting action on her, maybe a little tail.
A strike on Eric Hosmer. There's been everything the Padres had hoped for when they signed him to the big contract this offseason. Hitting .424 in his last 9 games, including a home run yesterday. There's the numbers that anybody can see, and then there's the stuff behind the scenes where he's already been a really good leader in that clubhouse. Two and one.
And going to San Diego in the middle of a rebuild, he has a chance to be the answer to a trivia question like who is the best player that nobody knows about the next few years. The Padres will probably not make any noise on the national scene.
Won a world championship in Kansas City. It was part of that rebuild. It was kind of the other phase of it, though, and that he was one of the prospects coming up. Now he's a guy they're building around. Takes this one in the dirt. Count goes full.
He sure is fun to watch play, though. He plays so hard. He plays the game right.
Stripling fires him a payoff, and Hosmer takes borderline ball 4. Right after I said Alfonso Marquez had a decent sized zone, he kind of closed it down. And Hosmer's AB and a 1-out walk.
We'll have to watch throughout the game if the outside corner is wide, but the inside corner is narrow. He used to take inventory of that.
Stripling against Villanueva. He's gotten the largest cheers for good reason this week. He's the only active player on these rosters born in Mexico. He came into this series as one of the best hitters in the National League. In fact, leading the National League in OPS here as a rookie. But he's 0 for his last 15. He's 2 for his last 27. Yet to provide a hit for these folks that came here excited to watch their homegrown product out of Guadalajara. 1-on-1 out. Stripling's 0-1. Rips this one foul, strike 2. At least sent one of them a souvenir there and a bruise maybe.
Well, when you know a hometown favorite has not gotten a hit and this is the last game he's going to play in, if I get him anywhere close to a even count or a head count, I am not throwing him a strike because I do not think he wants to walk 4 times on the last day he's here.
Breaking ball hit on the ground is second. Hernandez steps on the bag and throws him out for a double play. Stripling executes a nice pitch there. Despite the 1-out walk, faces the minimum in the first. candy. Monterey, Dodgers and Padres finishing up this series. We mentioned nice weather during the first inning, but it is pretty cool to finally be able to see what this town looks like and what the scenery around town looks like with the mountains surrounding it. Austin Barnes leading off the second, takes ball one.
Dodgers and the Padres have had a great time. Splitting the series so far would not be good news for the Dodgers and the Dodger fans, but it seems to even some things out. There was a party thrown last night by Major League Baseball.
That's a bullet into center, base hit for Barnes. Austin Barnes starting to swing it better on this road trip, which has included his first home run of the season, and here it's a leadoff single in the second. And here's Kyle Farmer. We're south of Texas here, about 120 miles from the border. Farmer fouls back the first one. 4-hour drive to Laredo, Texas. 6-hour drive to San Antonio. Had some free time yesterday, so I drove it to see the distance so I could report
okay.
it.
What'd the rental car run you? Put some miles on that.
Flowers 0-1. A little bit inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The hospitality has been off the charts.
Has.
Absolutely been wonderful.
You could tell how excited the people here were to have this event here. Have both these teams, have Major League Baseball. These are two of the most popular teams in Mexico. Polling has said that the Yankees are #1, but the Dodgers right behind them, second most popular. The Padres, with their proximity to Mexico, the 8th most popular team.
If Major League Baseball does expand, I would think that Mexico has to be first on the list. Just the proximity, the fan base, the easier travel as far as West Coast.
Ground ball to third. Villanueva starts it to second. The throw to first, not in time. Kyle Farmer legs out a fielder's choice. And there was one U.S. city that we neglected to talk about when we were discussing expansion. Portland has made a big push to be an expansion city.
Healthy for baseball to have competition for the next organization. And who knows if it would be 2 domestic teams or if it would be 2 international teams or 1 of each.
Alex Verdugo, strike 1.
Commissioner didn't give us really a timeline, just a goal.
And the fact that it's going to take Tampa Bay and Oakland getting their stadium situations figured out before they really get serious about expanding. It's a ball inside, and it's 1-1. Two and 1. Eric Lauer to Alex Verdugo with a 2-1 offering, and he slashes it foul. 2-2. Lauer from Ohio, where he was your kind of storybook All-American high school kid. He was a National Honor Society member, straight A student. Took college classes while he was in high school, playing both football and baseball. And you know about his baseball success, but he was an all-state receiver on the football team. Gets in on Verdugo and softly hit to Pereira, who gets the lead runner for out number 2. All-time leading receiver at his high school. reaching the majors at the ripe age of 22. One of the guys the Padres hope to build the rotation around. 2 out for Tim LeCastro. Got his first hit as a big leaguer on Friday night. The ground rule double, and we kind of joked around that that'll be a fun trivia question. Where did Tim LeCastro's first major league hit come? What ballpark? Give you 30 guesses.
Exactly. The hint of 30 guesses. That might
give it away.
That might give it away. You'd say, okay, can't be anything big, you know. So now go Korea or Japan or where? Oh, Mexico. That's right. One thing that won't happen today, we won't have players having trouble seeing pop-ups and fly balls. They had struggled with the mist and the rain and a little bit of the reflection from the lighting.
Although it is really bright today, so maybe for a different reason.
Yeah, maybe. You know, the high sky, and they better have their sunglasses on. But at least it's a normal thing that they deal with.
Castro hits it foul. He's behind 1-2.
This ballpark, you know, a little smaller than a regular sized major league park. And because of that, the lights then are just slightly lower by like probably 30, 40 feet.
That's a base hit to right. So to Castro with a base hit at each of his first 2 games this weekend. Verdugo heads into third after the juggle and right by Jankowski. Verdugo had held up at second, not seeing the ball juggle. As you heard the reaction of the crowd, he looked up, saw Chris Woodward waving him to third and got there.
Jankowski will probably get an error on this because of Verdugo's path and stopping. Dodgers have had some 2-out rallies, but not been able to push anybody across. Matt Kemp's 2-out double in the first inning. He was stranded. Now we'll get to see what they do with first and third.
With Ross Stripling. There's 2 hits on his big league ledger. Swings at the first one and pumps it foul into the seats.
Padres putting on their base running defense play here. I would not think that Dave Roberts would try to do anything there. He'd rather just turn the lineup over, get Ross Stripling out of the way.
Ball on a strike. They have put an error on the scoreboard here, which would indicate that they are going to charge Jankowski. Stripling's ahead 2-1. I don't think you can say enough about how important Ross Stripling has been for this team. Even if he's not been dominant over his 2+ seasons, not just this year, really since he debuted. Bottom of the zone for a strike, but it's guys like him that, I mean, you hear all about the depth in the organization and how key that is. It's guys like Ross that kind of personify that.
And there is some residue from having to switch roles within a season, not having a consistent workout plan or the right endurance or strength for what you're being called on for, but he does an amazing job.
Smokes it to second. Pereira makes a nice play, and that's that in the second inning. To the bottom half we go. No score.
On the field, placed on the disabled list back on March 26th with that left wrist fracture. But hey, here's some good news. This was earlier today. Justin Turner finally being able to face live batting practice. Nice to see them there in the cage on the field with his teammates. Still no official timetable for Justin Turner's return, but in a week and a half of what has been awful news as far as Dodgers being placed on the disabled list, it would be nice to get him back not only on the field but certainly in the lineup. Also, Yasiel Puig going out on a rehab assignment to Rancho Cucamonga Monday or Tuesday, perhaps both days. He'll be activated off the DL on Wednesday. Rich Hill will be activated on Tuesday.
You're right, Alana. It's about time we got some good news, and Justin was in great spirits before and after that batting practice.
Yeah, this is what the Dodgers have on the DL currently. 3 of their 5 season opening starters, and Kershaw, Ryu, and Hill, who again is ready to come off. 3 of the 4 infielders. Franchy Cordero against Ross Stripling takes ball 1 high. As far as wins above replacement, there are more wins on the disabled list for the Dodgers than on any other DL in baseball, and it is not even close, especially when you add Clayton Kershaw to that mix.
And Dave Roberts has to address the fact when he's in his media scrum, or Alana's getting pre or post game sound from him, but you know what? He does not talk about it in the locker room. The guys don't hear any excuses. He has to say, yeah, it's tough, but we're playing with the next man up mentality. And what an opportunity for a lot of these guys.
3 balls, 1 strike on Cordero. Yeah, one of the silver linings is that you're going to get to learn more about some guys that otherwise you wouldn't have.
And you get to see Walker Buehler sooner, and that looks like it's going to be a great show.
Sooner and more consistently. No plans to send him back down anytime soon. Dave Roberts saying, look, we got to win games right now. Worry about how to ramp off that arm a little bit later on this year when it makes sense.
This will be a bullpen day. Ross Stripling, 66 pitches in his last outing when he started, and that was very deep for him, so I think he will need some relief somewhere around the 4th or the 5th.
He comes back to strike out Cordero after falling behind him 3-0. Dodgers have done a number on the young slugger. He's 1 for 18 against LA this season. With 1 out in the 2nd, here's Jose Perella. You know, yesterday with the Dodgers giving up 4 runs from the bullpen, there was no Tony Cingrani, there's no JT Chagua. Both those guys were given the day by Dave Roberts. There was no Pedro Baez. He knew that Ross Stripling was probably going to start in this one and wanted Baez to be able to follow him with 2 or 3 innings, so you can expect to see Pedro after Stripling at some point. Yimi Garcia again available today after he was down last night. 2-0 on Perella. Yimi Garcia, kind of a ray of hope out of that bullpen with the struggles they've gone through. He's looked really good in his first couple outings.
The velocity for Yimi has been up there, 94 to 96 miles an hour, and what I like even more is his location and movement. Looked like he was in mid-season form for a guy who hasn't pitched in the big leagues for over 2 years.
Strike 3-1. Stripling's fallen behind each of the first 2 hitters in this inning, 3-0. He's able to battle back and strike out Cordero. Perella takes advantage of the hitter's count with a base hit to left. Aggressive round, but he holds on with a single. First hit of the day for San Diego.
Very powerful swing onto a firm left side and finds a hole as he hits that hard ground ball. Scoots through here pretty good without the moisture on the artificial turf. That'll heat up and be a little springier.
1 on 1 out for Freddie Galvis, who, yes, has started every game for the Padres and has not missed a game in 2 seasons. Played all 162 for the Phillies a year ago.
Watch out, Cal Ripken.
That record is amazing, isn't it? What do you... With all due respect to 59, that may be the most impossible record in sports just because of the way that the game is managed now.
Oh, yeah. I think that I don't know if the sabermetricians can figure out which record is the hardest to break, but that's got to be near the top. How about Cy Young? What is it? 511 victories?
Yeah, it's another. 1 ball or no balls, 2 strikes. He told the Phillies staff early on last year that playing 162 games was a goal of his. Even played the day after he pulled an all-nighter for the birth of his daughter. So didn't sleep. Came to the park. First pitch that he saw, homered. It's dad strength. This one gets by Hernandez at second. And they're at first and second with 1 out.
Rest is overrated. A little tough hop, but I think Kike would tell you, as good a fielder as he is, he should have had it.
Padres with a threat here in the 2nd inning. First and second, 1 out, and Manuel Margot, who's 3 for 3 with a double and a homer against Stripling in his career. Like Galvis, Margot became a dad last summer. Had a son, named him Diamond. His wife picked it out and said it doesn't have anything to do with baseball. Diamond is meaningful, special, unique. Stripling continues to fall behind 2-0. Margot has said that wants to be a superstar and always has, but having a son has given him extra motivation. That's now kind of his primary motivation, to become somebody that Diamond can look up to. First and second, 1 out. Here's a 2-0. That didn't miss by much, but it's the 3rd hitter out of the 4 in this inning that Stripling has fallen behind 3-0 on.
He's definitely been nibbling at the edges. Hasn't been so wild that you go, okay, there's an issue. It's just really more sight line and what he's trying to attack and just missing. Saw this with Walker Buehler, and we thought, you know, the 2-0 counts. You're going to bring the pitch count down when you start attacking right from the beginning. And what's happening with Ross Stripling is the same thing. You know you're good enough to get him out, but you're just waiting until you fall behind to try and do it.
They walked him, and the bases are loaded for A.J. Ellis. Former Dodger, his first season in San Diego, and he's enjoying his time there. He's got a place right near the ballpark in downtown San Diego. He's longtime friends with the manager, Andy Green. Both those guys are Lexington, Kentucky natives. So Stripling facing the guy that caught his major league debut. And delivering a first pitch strike on a curve.
It's always odd when you face an old battery mate. I don't care how long it's been. And even close teammates too. I remember like facing Eric Karros or different people like that when you all of a sudden are on opposite side. It is so odd. You have to shut down your memory and just attack the present tense.
Gets a pop up here into short center field. Hernandez out. Kemp on from right to catch it. And throws to the plate to hold Pereira 2 out.
Fans here in Monterey enjoyed Matt Kemp's arm and accuracy.
So now all Stripling has to do is get the opposing pitcher to get out of this bases loaded jam in the second. Lauer, a very good athlete, though. He talked about his football background in high school. He's also a slugging first baseman when he was in high school. Here he takes strike one. Ross was in a similar predicament first time that he saw the Padres this year. One relief inning in April and walked the bases loaded, but was able to get out of it without anything coming across. Little dribbler along third that'll stay foul, and it's 0-2.
You know, we review the athletic history of a lot of the pitchers, and they were well-rounded athletes, great hitters in college possibly, or back to high school. The reason they can't do it at the big league level, because you might have the ability, but you don't have the experience of hitting a 88-mile-an-hour slider and a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in combination.
Can't lay off, and Stripling strikes his way out of trouble. You don't have time either, right? You got to focus on getting hitters out, which Stripling does to keep it scoreless. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando Mania, which swept across Los Angeles that 1981 season. First time that that term was coined. April 27th edition of the LA Times. Fernando Mena was a headline after he had started that rookie season 5-0 with 5 consecutive outings, going 9 innings, not giving up a run. He'll continue for another 3 outings. 8-0 start, 5 shutouts, 9 innings pitched in all 8 games. Top of the order for the Dodgers. Soft one in there for strike 1 to Chris Taylor. It, of course, all started for Fernando here in Mexico. Born in 1960, Navajoa, Mexico. Taylor gets under it. Lazy pop fly into short right center. Perella. You know, he didn't play baseball until he was 13 years old. And even then, his brothers wouldn't let him pitch much until he was 15. And even at that point, it was just 1 inning at a time. They didn't want him to put too much on his arm at too early an age. But he pitched on those Sunday games against his older brothers and guys in their 20s and 30s that had played in the Mexican League years ago. Dodgers signed him a couple years later. Debuted when he was 19. Strike 1 on Kike Hernandez.
It was a lot of fun to play with. He's great to still know. Wonderful teammate, great sense of humor. Just like we've seen with like Puig and Ryu and Maeda, they, even though you don't speak the same language, you still get along and have a blast.
Well, you talk about a superstar among these people here. Following him out of the park each night, riding the coattails of his security.
He has the security at the hotel because even when he goes in to have breakfast this morning, too many people were going around, he couldn't eat. So they had to back people away.
Can you sign my waffle, sir? 2-2 on Kike Hernandez. No score, 3rd inning. Series finale. On the ground to 3rd for Christian Villanueva. A high throw, and Hosmer comes back down to the bag in time.
Kike rolls over this one, but busts it right out of the box. This high throw almost cost the Padres. I don't think they are going to review it. No, it was out.
Solauer gets Kemp with the bases empty and 2 out, 3rd inning. Lauer gave up those 10 runs over his first 4 innings as a major leaguer, but has now thrown 6 2/3 scoreless in a row, and he gets strike 1 on Kemp. Important that he goes deep for San Diego today because of the bullpen, which on the season has been the most used in baseball, especially so this weekend. Rotation has only given Andy Green 7 1/3 in the 2 games. Kemp with another base hit. This one to left. 11 for 18 now against the Padres.
You're not watching a classic show. You're watching live action, and Matt Kemp is absolutely scalding the ball.
Here's Bellinger. Lauer got with a high fastball his first time. A fastball of his only high 80s, low 90s. And he very much realized after getting it knocked around in those first couple innings in the majors that in the big leagues, 90 ain't hard enough if you're not mixing in the off-speed stuff to make it look a little bit harder.
That's so right. I mean, you can be a top college prospect and have great numbers there in college, get drafted in the first round, but you do have to understand what it's about. He's still figuring out who he is. He doesn't have a lot of minor league innings, under 200 minor league innings. So he's still going to be learning at the big league level if this is where he gets to develop and stay.
Kemp at first, 2 out. Lauer's 2 on to Bellinger, come after a throw over. And he's in an organization where that learning may happen at the big league level.
Yeah, you have to find some success, even though you're kind of learning and getting your ears pinned behind you. But you need a little success to see where the formula is, so you know what to work on. You got to be brave enough to change your philosophy on your own skills as the big league opponent shows you where you need to change and improve here, or actually change and develop a new pitch.
Well, against Bellinger, he's thrown 3 fastballs today, and Cody's swung through all of them. Now a 2-2. Sticks with it. Bellinger puts it in play, slapping it to Galvis at short. Beats it out at first. Bellinger using the speed and hustling his way to an infield single.
One of the things that makes it so exciting to watch Cody Bellinger play, everybody talks about the power, but the way he can run, soft hands when he's playing first, shag a fly ball in the outfield with anybody, and he can run and umpire at the same time.
Love that. That's multitasking at its finest. Two on, 2 out for Barnes, who hit a ringing single his first time up. Takes ball 1. I heard a new walk-up song for Austin there. From Post Malone, Psycho. Oral's ringtone.
Okay.
Lauer's 1-0. It's inside on Barnes for ball 2. You know, Austin, the batting average below 200 coming in, but the on-base percentage is .415, which is among the leaders in the National League. It's amazing to have a batting average that low and still be walking enough where the on-base percentage is among the elite. On a 2-0 pitch from Lauer. He rips one to left field, but right at Cordero. He started to barrel some balls up. That one finds the left fielder. They strand 2 on a weekend that begins with Fernando Valenzuela throwing out the first pitch. No score to the bottom of the 3rd.
the office or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
I think we got to take the baby cam idea home with us from here in Monterey, huh?
I'd love it.
It's between innings. They play the song from Lion King at the beginning of Lion King, and then on the baby cam, you're supposed to hold your baby up, like they held Simba up.
That's awesome.
Oh, Travis Jankowski fouls off the first pitch from Ross Stripling. If you didn't know what song I was talking about.
Kill Joe's mic right now. he's trying to sing. Oh, yeah, we're open. We're on the air.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
That was very good, though.
Thanks, man. Typically only sing Lion King Circle of Life during commercials, so that was stepping out there for me.
Wow. Can't wait to see the next promotion activity in between innings, what you're going to sing.
Fly ball to left field, Verdugo. Ross Stripling only 39 pitches at this point. He threw 66 in his start on Monday, so an opportunity for him here, even with a lot of those 3-ball counts, to, relative to a reliever coming out and making a start, get pretty deep into this game.
There haven't been a lot of foul balls. It seems like he's either throwing a ball or the ball gets put in play after he climbs back in the count. So, yeah, he's got a chance to get deeper in the game if they let him go to 80 pitches maybe. Maybe 75.
Good strike one out of Hosmer. We walked his first time. A pop-up. Good pitch, and in the hands of Hosmer. And in center field, Tim Locastro with a running catch. 2 up and 2 down.
Hosmer is one of those pretty swings, and Locastro has no problem with this other than just making sure everybody's going to let him catch it. Keep Kike out of the way, which he peeled off.
It's Christian Villanueva with 2 out, and he takes ball 1. Christian started playing baseball here in Mexico when he was 9, wanting to be like Vinny Castilla, Mexican-born third baseman. Breaking pitch makes it 1-1. That year where he fell in love with the game watching Vinny, he hit 46 home runs for the Rockies. And wanted to be like his dad, who played amateur baseball. Passed away when Christian was young. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Ross mixed in his changeup right there, which has outstanding action. Is yet to give up a hit with it this year.
Into a high fastball, which he throws as infrequently as anybody. Two balls, 2 strikes on Villanueva. Stripling back home. And another pop-up. Stripling can't find it. It's not his job to. Bellinger does. And Ross has his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. We're through a 3 in Monterey and still no score. Middle innings coming up here. No score. Dodgers and Padres, and we welcome it back inside here in Monterey. Joe and Oral, and this has been a long road trip for the Dodgers, who I think are excited to get back to Dodger Stadium, open up a 6-game homestand on Tuesday.
Definitely excited, and definitely to get beyond a lot of the bad news. Hopefully Clayton comes back soon. We know we're not getting Seager back, but I think being at home is going to make them feel a little bit better about getting things together.
Kyle Farmer opens up this 4th inning with a base hit.
Especially if you can start winning some games, get to 500, and that's going to be the first goal, is to kind of sort this all out, hopefully get Justin Turner back, and start to get some W's in the column.
Got the 2 games with Arizona on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you know the road trip has been, it's been a disaster, quite frankly, right? With all the injuries and the losses that have built up, but you'll feel a whole lot better about it if you can win this finale against San Diego.
Yeah, we started to feel better about the road trip in Arizona.
It's a fly ball to left field off of the bat of Verdugo, and an easy play for Cordero.
The last 2 wins in Arizona seem like, okay, here we go. We've got those 2 wins under our belt. We're 7 games back. Go down and we'll beat up on San Diego down in Monterey, Mexico. And all of a sudden, you know, got to try and win series. It's not going to be about winning 7, 8 games in a row. This is going to be about series after series after series. Playing consistent ball, doing the little things.
Castro singled to right his first time. 1 on 1 out in the 4th. He takes ball 1. 2 of the Diamondbacks. They will see Zach Godley in the series opener, who they have had really good at-bats against the last 2 times they've seen him. And Patrick Corbin on Wednesday night. Then the Cincinnati Reds come to town. Reds are 8-25, tied with the Baltimore Orioles for the worst record in baseball. Lauer, Tulo, Castro with a 2-0. Anthony, strike 1. Buzzed him inside, ball 3. Eric Lauer started loving baseball when his grandparents got him a bat and ball set on his 3rd birthday. Even though they were in Ohio, not great weather, he and his dad would play catch year-round, even in the worst parts of winter. That's a walk to LeCastro, putting them at 1st and 2nd with 1 out. We hear about guys getting batting cages built in their backyards. Eric's dad built him a mound in the backyard.
In today's day and age, when you're trying to protect great arms, that's one way of not doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, parents ask me advice all the time about, you know, what should I do with, and I'm like, okay, how old? Well, he's 11 or 12. Okay, there's a range there of work you would want to do, but you want your child, I think, to play multiple positions, and don't, if they become one of the best pitchers on the Little League team, don't let the coach, just let them pitch. I know they're probably going to be one of the better athletes, but don't let them get in there and always pitch in the key situations of every game, that they can get them out there, the minimal rest, bam, you're back out there. I think they should play a lot of different positions and watch how much they throw.
Corners pinched him with the pitcher up there, 2 on and 1 out. And a bunt situation for Stripling. Bunts the first one foul.
And before I get off my soapbox, I would say that one of the places that Little League coaches forget about and they abuse their best athletes is when they move them to another position, they're still practicing really hard. So they move him to the outfield, they move him to shortstop, all of a sudden he's in the middle of every drill and he's throwing even there. So just because you moved him off the mound doesn't mean they're resting their arm.
Stripling will try it again. And foul again. Starting pitchers put in work bunting a couple times a week between their starts. Relievers, not so much. And so Ross Stripling being a swingman, there's not a ton of time of bunt practice built into his routine.
Ross is usually a very good bunter when he was in the rotation a little bit, and even sometimes as a reliever. But you are so right. Again, it's that experience of seeing a ball like that. It can make you flinch, make you think you're at the right place with the bat, and you're not, because you're just not picking it up the way you could if you had a lot of reps.
Pulls it back, fouls it off.
It's really funny because sometimes for certain guys, it's easier for them to make contact swinging a bat than it is bunting it. It's just the way visually when they get their head down in there and have to keep it completely still compared to swinging at it. They've done that maybe a little bit more in their upbringing because they, as youth, they're not really called on to bunt. They're the best hitter.
Shows bunt again this time. Pulls it back again and hits a bouncing ball to second. Perella gets LaCastro, and that's all.
He was called out for running out of his baseline that he had created on his way from first to second. Starts to draw his own line there. Ross Stripling did a nice job putting the ball in play, advancing one of the runners, and then grounding into that fielder's choice.
Yeah, so he declared himself out by doing that, but he also bought enough time to get Stripling to first base and avoid the double play, bringing Chris Taylor up. At the corners, 2 out. No score in the 4th inning. Lauer to Taylor. Strike one. Been a good series for Chris Taylor. He's barreled some balls up. He's homered, leading the team with his 5 home runs, tied with Matt Kemp in that category.
The only time we've really worried about Chris Taylor is when we saw him swinging through fastballs for strikes. He hasn't done that very often lately.
Shoots this one to second. Perella's got it, feeding Galvis, and the Dodgers strand a couple more. They've had chances over the first 4 innings, but nothing to show for it, and still no score. T-Mobile presents Hats Off for Heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, T-Mobile stands ready to serve all military families. belong to.
I know, so I'm not going to play.
It's Alex Verdugo, the only player on the active roster of Mexican descent. His grandparents on his father's side, both born in Mexico. Alex was born and raised in Tucson, but very proud of his Mexican heritage. Back here in Monterey for the bottom of the 4th inning, where the Padres and Dodgers are scoreless. We're talking about the most popular teams in Mexico. Yankees 1, Dodgers 2. Any guesses what the most popular jersey sold in Mexico is?
Every jersey in any organization.
Middle part of the order against Ross Stripling.
Currently or all time?
Current.
Current.
I'll give you a hint. It's ball one high. The hint is keep in mind the rankings of the favorite teams. Yankees 1.
Yankees. Yeah. Derek Jeter.
Aaron Judge.
Okay, not current. I blew my own clue.
2-0. I gave you 2 clues and you refused to use one of them.
If I really would have been funny there, I said Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Number 2 is Jose Altuve.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 is Kershaw. Most popular jerseys in Mexico. 2 balls and a strike on Cordero. This will be the 50th pitch for Stripling, who threw 66 on Monday in his first start. It's ball 3. Padres have 2 hits against him. He's walked 2, but has run some deep counts. A lot of 3-ball counts in this game. A strike and a full count. Fell behind Cordero 3-0. First time he faced him, but came back to strike him out looking. On this 3-2. Bouncing ball punched through the shift for a base hit. First hit of the series for Cordero, and it leads off the 4th for San Diego.
Interesting to see how he generates all that power. We didn't see it on that particular swing, but he's got outstanding flexibility in his hips and his knees and his shoulders there to really torque the bat.
Stripling to Jose Pereira. Showed bunt, took a strike. Jose from a baseball-loving family in Venezuela. He's 28 now, but grew up playing with his cousins and his brothers. His dad played semi-pro baseball. Jose, though, is the first out of his family to sign with a major league team. Still goes home every offseason, plays winter ball in Venezuela. Jose has said before, baseball is life. And for me, not playing it would be like being dead. I hope he plays a long career.
Me too.
Oh, 2. Taken high. Churro. Churro. Churros.
Lasso.
Now 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball down the middle for strike 3. Pereira guessing something else. Stripling gets his 4th K.
That's what you love about Ross Stripling. Just battles out there. Dave Roberts, Rick Honeycutt, Mark Pryor down in the bullpen. They just love the makeup of Ross Stripling. No matter how it's going out there, you know you're going to get his full attention.
One away for Freddie Galvis. You know, Ross Stripling being so steady regardless of the situation is why his outing in the World Series in Game 2 haunts him so much. Had a 4-pitch walk with 2 out in the 7th inning, and it didn't lead to a run, but it started the domino effect of Dave Roberts having to go to the back end of the bullpen earlier than he had wanted. Brandon Morrow had to come in to bail Stripling out after the walk. That was in the 7th instead of starting Morrow with a clean 8th. That led to Jansen coming in earlier, and then eventually Brandon McCarthy gave up the game-winning home runs in the 11th. But Ross, a guy who has always prided himself on never having a moment feel too big, admitted that in that moment his heart was really racing. Kind of felt like his major league debut all over again. That's ripped to right, base hit. Cordero to second, 2 on with 1 out. He said it. He comes in, he yanks the first one, then he over-adjusted, and he blinks, and before he knows it, he's sitting back in the dugout wondering what just happened.
I understand the feeling completely, and it's something you really have to deal with. I've dealt with it many a time in playoff games, and if you're on a short leash like that, it's really hard because sometimes you can make mistakes and walk somebody as a starting pitcher and you got more rope, but as a reliever in the key moments of the game, it's really hard, and I really admire the guys that have done that. When I had an opportunity to relief in some special situations, I knew exactly what they were going through. At times I wasn't even trying to hit a corner or something. I'm like, I'm just going to make this ball move and get it near the plate.
Manuel Margot on a first pitch breaking ball hits it foul.
Bases loaded, 2 out in Chase Stadium, coming in to face Mick Reynolds after Jesse Orozco had just gotten Darryl Strawberry to pop up in the National League playoff game in 1988. I was coming in relief just for 1 out and pitched the day before, and I'll tell you what, I could not feel anything. I felt like I was floating over the grass.
Ball and a strike. Ross said he laid in bed, hardly got any sleep that night, just replaying those 4 pitches over and over, staring at the ceiling. 1-2.
You know, you kick yourself later too, and you sit there and you think of all the things that you should have done to stop it, and it's easy to coach yourself when you got all that time and can review it, but in the moment you almost have to pre-play it, and I think that's what it's so good about having veterans on a team when you're headed into the playoffs with the younger guys, is they can explain those feelings and get the younger guys to kind of pre-play it in their head of how they're going to deal with it and to expect it.
Gets Margot swinging with a breaking ball for out number 2. Strikeout number 5 for Stripling, and again A.J. Ellis comes up in a big spot. He came up bases loaded, 1 out in the 2nd, flied to right. Here he is, 1st and 2nd, 2 out in the 4th.
Ross started him out with a curve ball and then a fastball up that got him to pop it up.
Strike 1.
A little slider kind of hanging. AJ, as in his past, would say, golly, I should have attacked that. He's always really been a guy that runs deep counts with a good eye.
Back-to-back sliders. This one missed. Cordero started the inning with a single. He moved to second on Galvis's 1-out single. 2 on, 2 out. And Stripling's 1-1 to A.J. Ellis. Fastball rides inside, 2-1. And the sick joke that the universe played on Ross Stripling when the World Series ended was the fact that Ross is from Houston, and the morning after Game 7 He was on the first flight out of LAX back to Houston. And you can guess who else was on that flight? A bunch of Astros fans wearing new Astros World Series champs insignia. Perfectly placed, 2-2. Said it didn't really dawn on him until he sat down and looked around and saw that all three people in the row in front of him had that Astros hat with the logo. And every time they turned their heads, said the World Series logo was staring him right in the face.
Close your eyes. Put a pillow over your face.
Ellis taps a bouncer to short. Taylor goes to second in time to get the runner. And Ross Stripling again out of a bit of a jam. Through with 4. Still 0-0. Your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Get incredible deals on a stylish new Corolla. Back in Monterey in a scoreless game through 4 innings. People here have been so kind, so welcoming to the Dodgers and the Padres. And I'm glad that they were finally gifted a nice day of weather. Completely different mood in here than the first couple of nights where everybody was bundled up and wearing ponchos, try and stay dry. Kike Hernandez to lead off the 5th against Eric Lauer under bright sunshine. First pitch off speed, 0-1.
Lauer has done a nice job mixing his pitches, using all 4 of them. Fastball predominantly, but that has had good location today. He's been near the edges and able to locate the ball in halves of the plate when necessary.
Ahead of Hernandez, 1-2. As a high school senior in Ohio, Eric Lauer pitched 47 innings and gave up a total of 1 run.
That'll get you on the radar.
Mentioned he's a very smart kid, and so pro teams thought that the whole signability thing was not real great, that he probably was going to go play college baseball. Toronto drafted him in the 17th round and tried to get him to sign with a $1 million bonus, and he turned it down. Went to pitch at Kent State instead. Turned out to be a good decision for a couple of reasons. He got an education, And he doubled the signing bonus. When the Padres drafted him, they gave him $2 million. 3-2.
What a feeling that's got to be to come out of college or high school and sign for over $1 million, get up into $2 million or even higher. Talk about changing your life.
Hernandez starting the 5th. Hitting a ground ball that backs up Villanueva. Long throw, pulls Hosmer into the path, but he makes the grab, and Hernandez the first out.
He rolls over it, sees it's probably going to get fielded, but it's deep, and he busted it down the line. Villanueva a little offline, but you got a very good glove man over there in Hosmer.
Your signing bonus provided meal money for your time in the minors, right?
Yep, $10,000, 17th rounder. Same round. I didn't get $1 million.
Yeah.
I think I would have taken it. I was a suspect, not a prospect.
It's ball one on Matt Kemp.
He was drafted so low in the 17th round, not because of ability, but sign ability. So when the pros put you up on their draft board, a couple things evaluated.
Kemp with a high fly ball that he just missed in center at Smart Go on the warning track for out number 2. Yeah, so the reason he falls is because teams don't want to spend one of their draft picks on him only to see him go to college, which he did wind up doing.
And then, you know, Toronto takes a risk and says, you know what, we've talked to him. If we get to this area, he will think about it, but we can't waste a high pick. And they decide, let's go with 17th. You can even go higher than that, but then you're risking as an organization. Will another organization then decide to start taking that risk?
Lauer to Cody Bellinger with a 1-0 pitch. His 80th of the day. He's hit on the ground, right side, knocked down by Perella, and he'll hold on to it. Bellinger with an infield single. It's his 2nd of the day, and it keeps his 5th inning alive.
That is for sure going to be a hit. Cody Bellinger beat out a ball that was a lot harder to get.
Barnes today has a ringing single to center, and the one out that he made, he crushed that as well, but it was right at Cordero and left. Ball 1 low.
Lauer hasn't thrown many of those curve balls, but only about 6 or 7 of them. It's been mainly the cutter and the fastball. Shoots from his hip on that pickoff move. He doesn't take his arm all the way to the top.
Shoots home. Strike 1.
Velocities that Lauer throws at are kind of Rich Hill-like. Rich goes with the fastball up to come out of the big curveball window, where Lauer's more of a fastball cutter. And so he's trying to pick on the edges or get you to think about one half or the other, then go to the other side or try and jam you with the cutter if you're a righty.
It looks like it'll be Rich Hill to open the series with Arizona on Tuesday. Alex Wood on Wednesday. With the Kershaw news, Stripling takes the ball today and just throwing up their 4 shutout innings. He'll move back to a more potent offense on Tuesday.
the Ross Stripling announcement that he would be starting came in front of the announcement that Clayton Kershaw was going on the DL. So the quotes out there in the papers of Rich Hill saying, I was ready. I don't really understand why I'm being moved back. Yes, I've been able to throw my curveball. I feel fine. Those are because Rich didn't know Clayton was going on the DL. But for right then, Ross Stripling was just getting what he considered his start, and he was being pushed back. So he was caught off guard a little bit, but the Dodgers playing it close to the vest on the Kershaw news and waiting for the exact appropriate time, and did not even want to tell the guys on the team in case it would leak out, because it is a pretty big topic.
2-2 on Barnes.
Anybody whispers something about Clayton, you got to feel like it's going to get spread.
And as Alana told us, Kershaw already back in Los Angeles. Seeing Dr. Neil Elatrash. Biceps tendonitis, the initial word. And they're going to dig and see if there's anything more. Lauer pitches over to first again, paying a lot of attention to Cody Bellinger, who has good wheels and in a scoreless game. An important runner.
I dealt with the bicep tendonitis 3 or 4 times during my career, and it's something that can go away very quickly, or it can linger a little bit, but I never had anything last for more than like 2 weeks. And you can pitch with it, but it gets to a level where you can't. It slows your arm down.
Bellinger ultimately, with all of the effort of Lauer, is still going to wind up at second as the ball gets through Ellis's wickets.
Might be an interesting call here from the official score. A lot of times when the ball hits the dirt, they immediately call it a wild pitch. AJ looks like he's almost crossed up right there. You saw the glove kind of go up, and then all of a sudden he had to rotate it under. I think he was crossed up on the pitch.
So a base hit can give the Dodgers the lead here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lauer delivers, and Barnes flips one over first and foul. Talked about how hard Eric Hosmer plays. We mentioned Freddie Galvis played all 162 for the Phillies last year. Hosmer played all 162 for the Royals.
That's impressive. A is a goal, and then B to accomplish it.
At the high level that he does it, both production and energy. Another payoff. Barnes to right field, down the line, but Jankowski was shaded over there. And boy, has Austin had some bad luck with a couple of line drives in this one. We're halfway home, still no score.
12th for the alumni game at 4 o'clock, and see the 1988 World Series team before the Dodgers host the Reds at 6:10. If you're one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance, you'll also receive a 60th anniversary cap. It's all part of the alumni weekend presented by Security Benefit. Visit Dodgers.com/alumni game.
Got a pitching change for you in a scoreless game to the bottom of the 5th. Who's in, who's out? Brought to you by In and Out. Ross Stripling 4 shutout innings and hands it over to Tony Cingrani.
You know, Joe, 16 of us from the 1988 team are going to be there on May 12th, so it's
awesome.
a very nice showing. You know, Gibby's coming back.
9-1-2 for the Padres. 1 ball, 1 strike on Eric Lauer. Anything else planned around the alumni game for the group?
Well, the game starts at 4, and I think they're having a lunch, so everybody can kind of visit before we go down to the locker room and get ready. So that'll be fun.
Do you get to use the Dodger locker room, or do they put you in the Angels clubhouse?
I don't know. I would,
extra one.
Yeah, I would think they would. We're in the extra one.
Okay. 2-1.
The current clubhouse is much nicer than ours was.
What's the single worst clubhouse you've ever been in at any level?
Oh, any level? Well, you'd have to go back to A-ball. I mean, the one that I signed and walked into, Clinton, Iowa, was really interesting, with just kind of the rusty nails, 2 or 3 nails in a compartment of 2x4s.
Ground ball to second, Kike Hernandez. Lauer the first out of the 5th.
Rusted out wire screening between the lockers. The width of the locker was probably the same width as your little tiny stool that sat in front of it. Your elbow to elbow, knee to knee with the guy next to you.
So you got a stool, a uniform, and 3 rusted nails, a guy?
Yeah, and the undershirt and the stirrups from the guy who lost his job because I joined the team. They actually went into his bag because they were outfitting my locker as I walked in. We actually bumped each other as he's coming out. He's got his bag and I'm going in. It was just the most awkward timing. And then they were outfitting my locker for me to get dressed, and they didn't have the undershirt and they didn't have the stirrups, so they ran out, opened the guy's bag up, and took it out. And I was like wanting to stop him, like, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out.
Jankowski with a base hit into center, played on a bounce by Locastro. First hit of the day for Jankowski, and a 1-out base runner for San Diego. Had they been washed?
Yeah, you at the minor league level in Clinton, Iowa, you would consider it, I guess, washed. Yeah, they wash the clothes every day. Used to have either a knit bag with holes through it and a big pin with your number on it, maybe, or the number they assigned. It might not even match your uniform number. Or they also had just big pins, these huge big pins that you could just kind of lace clothes through, and that's how it ended up back at your locker. It wasn't on hangers or anything. It was just kind of thrown at the bottom of your locker.
One on, one out for Eric Hosmer.
I think clubhouse dues, when I signed in 1979, went to Clinton, Iowa to play A-ball in June. I think the dues were like either $4 or $6 a day.
Oh, wow.
To get maybe a cold hot dog, a pack of gum as you headed out to the field, maybe some sunflower seeds, and get your laundry done.
I bet if you threw in another $1, they would have warmed the hot dog up for you.
Yeah, but they usually like brought them into the locker room maybe like in the 6th or 7th inning as they're all starting to close down the concession stand. So they were warm in the 7th.
2-0. That hot dog's warm. Now it's hot.
We did not have that nice a hot dog or roll. But we did kind of backdoor some food a lot of times with balls into the stands. Get the ball from the bag, and you give it out, get the kid to go run, get you a hot dog. So sometimes I was actually, when I was in the bullpen, I was actually full when the game was over. I knew I was going to be avoided that day, and just wanted to make sure that my teammates had balls to warm up with. We didn't give them all away for hot dogs.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get your arm ready with a hot dog. So,
especially half-eaten.
Right. Trade out a ball, warm up with a hot dog. 3-1 on Hosmer. No score in the 5th inning. 7 hits for the Dodgers, 5 hits for the Padres. Both teams have had opportunities, but both pitching staffs doing a good job getting out of those jams. Cingrani's 3-1, and Hosmer unloads on a high drive to right center field. It is gone. The Padres have taken a 2-0 lead.
Hosmer getting a nice round of applause here in Monterrey, Mexico from the Padres fans. He has brought some thunder to the middle of that Padre order. He knew it was gone. He didn't bat flip it, but he walked it out of the box.
They're now ball 1 on Christian Villanueva. Ball and 1 strike. Does not bode well for the Dodgers when the other team strikes first. They're 1-14. 14-4 the other way when the Dodgers get the first run of the game. 2 balls and a strike on Villanueva. Still looking for his first hit of this Mexico series. Trying to snap an 0 for 17. 2 for his last 29. Similar slump that he went into after he had a 3-home run game in the first week of the year. Pedro Baez starting to get loose. 2-2. Said after that 3-home run game, he just started swinging at everything, trying to hit everything out of the park. And for a few weeks, really struggled, but then got as hot as anybody for a 2-week stretch. Cingrani throws him a 2-2, and Villanueva just barely stays alive. Got him swinging. 2 out.
Breaking ball down and in. Villanueva, he is the kind of guy that's very handsy swinger. Quick hips, gets the hands through very quickly and turns them over. So the bat does not stay in the hitting area for a long time compared to a guy who likes to keep the hands inside the ball. He likes to drop the head of the bat.
Frenchy Cordero shows bunt, lays it down sharply to third. He can really run, and so he beats it out. Farmer gave it his best shot to get him, but even with a ball that was bunted more firmly than he had liked, he reaches.
He is an exceptional athlete. Amazing to see a guy this size run the way he does. He controls stride, and the turnover is so quick. He's covering a lot of ground with every step.
The Jose chance for Jose Pereira, who's 1 for 2. And takes ball 1 from Cingrani. Same chant that they were serenading Fernando with a couple of times a couple nights ago. El Toro, the bull. Obviously weren't saying Jose though. They're doing the traditional Ole. Pereira hits a chopper to short. Chris Taylor feeding Hernandez at second to retire the side. But the Padres strike first. Eric Hosmer launches a 2-run home run against Tony Cingrani.
Is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Take your mouth to Memphis, the call of Carl's.
Monterrey, the 9th largest city in Mexico. Size would put it right between Dallas and San Jose to give us some U.S. context. Eric Hosmer's 2-run homer. The only scoring in this game as Kyle Farmer fouls off the first pitch from Eric Lauer. Lauer gave up 10 runs over his first 4 innings in the majors, but has now thrown 9 consecutive shutout innings.
You think about the transition for Walker Buehler from his first 9 innings or so to now what he is doing. And sometimes take a few outings to calm down and understand and really be in control of your whole self. Use your abilities.
Ahead of Kyle Farmer, 0-2. The redhead from Ohio back home. Farmer's 1 for 2. Started the 4th with a single. Trying to set the table here in the 6th now. One and 2. Pitch count now at 92 for Lauer. He needed to go deep in this game for Andy Green today with the way the bullpen has been taxed this weekend and has been taxed this year more than any other in baseball. So they've been good, but he's been riding them. Another 1-2. Farmer takes strike 3. It's the first K for Lauer since he struck out the side in the first inning. And the first out of the 6th.
Take a look and see if this ball is low. No, it just barely catches the Howell, the knee of the front leg. It was definitely borderline. Got the strike.
Alex Verdugo with a cue shot to third that's off of Villanueva, and Verdugo reaches. The Dodgers catching a break with one out in the sixth.
Need to catch a break. All the injuries that are kind of in the back of their mind, and now falling behind 2-0 here on the Hosmer home run. Maybe the Padres can help them get back into this.
Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Guys, we've talked at length about the ties that Alex Verdugo and his family have to the country of Mexico. And earlier today, he addressed the entire media in the press room and was asked about just how he's been at the plate. Not only him, but also Christian Villanueva, who is in the same situation. Verdugo admitted he's kind of been overswinging a little bit, trying to press. You've heard that phrase so many times in this game, trying to do a little bit too much in front of these fans. He's like, when I get into the box, though, I'm just trying to still have that consistent approach, stay within my strike zone, but certainly wanting to impress to a guy that's been pulled in a lot of different directions while he's been here this weekend.
Yeah, and only his first week in the majors this year. Timlo Castro takes the ball low. It's 1-1. Caught up at the beginning of the road trip while the team was in San Francisco, which feels like months ago. And he'll head back to Los Angeles with the team after the game today. Castro fouls it off 1-2.
Third city on all road trips is a challenge to me. It might be a challenge to you sometimes because I'll start walking to the wrong room from the place prior that we stayed.
Yeah, I love when somebody asks what room number you're in. I got no clue. I know where it is, but
I take a picture of it now.
That's smart.
And when I park my car, I'm just getting a little forgetful.
Comes a 1-2. Inside corner, strike three. Second strikeout looking in this inning. And Lauer putting together by far his best outing out of his three as a big leaguer. Now Yasmani Grandal ready to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot.
Dana tried to sign a check at the restaurant here at the hotel, and she wrote down room 626, and the lady had to inform her that there was only 5 floors.
It happens.
Yep.
Here's Grandal taking ball one. Dana Hershiser. It's Dana's Oral's wife.
Thank you. I have to get a graphic from now on if I'm going to tell a story. Just have the wives' names on the graphic. When you were married.
They don't care about that.
That's true.
They just want Grandal to come through. Yeah, he takes strike 1-1 on the 100th pitch from Eric Lauer. On a 1-1. He misses with a fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Change-up grip. A lot of times guys will hold the toughest grip in their hand before they reach into their glove to actually grip the ball according to what they want to throw. So a lot of times on that shot you'll see a split finger grip if that's what a guy throws.
Little floater, short right. Pereira's there to make the catch and end the inning. To the bottom of the 6th we go with the Padres in front 2-0. moment. Just looking back at some of the pictures from this special weekend in Monterrey, Mexico. Dodgers and Padres playing the first regular season series in this country since the late 90s. And it started with a combined no-hitter Friday night. First in franchise history. Padres followed with a 7-4 win yesterday, and they have a 2-0 lead here in Game 3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Third Dodger pitcher of the day is Pedro Baez. Freddie Galvis stands in, and Baez starts him with a pitch high.
Coming off an outing where he went 2 2/3 through a career-high 42 pitches. Only gave up a couple hits, struck out 4. Lengthening out Pedro a little bit, which I think it's going to really do wonders for his confidence and for him being able to relax out there and attack hitters, not being on such a tight rope.
Here comes with the 1-1. Galvis shows bunt, went through on it, and he's behind 1-2.
A lot of times when you throw an off-speed pitch, you're trying to fool somebody with a full swing. Well, that changeup right there from Pedro actually fooled Galvis because he thought it was going to arrive. So the bunt attempt was made, and there was no ball there yet. Back-to-back combios.
Margot and Ellis to follow in this inning. Galvis has worked the count full.
Slowed him down with 2 changeups and a slider. I think they're attacking with the fastball.
In the air to left field, carries well, sending Verdugo to the wall, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That thing just kept on flying. Ultimately, it's out number 1.
Pedro supplied some of the power. Galvis supplied the rest, and this ball had a little wind behind it. Verdugo does not run out of room.
Then up comes Manuel Margot. You use your signing bonus for food as a minor leaguer?
Yep.
Manuel Margot used his to buy a horse. Takes a strike, 1-1. Grew up in San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. His dad worked on a ranch down the road from their house. He learned to ride horses there. So he used one of his favorite things to benefit his other favorite thing, baseball and horses. Baez fires him at 2-1, and Margot chops it foul for strike 2. Try. Padres attempting to win their first series since mid-April. Here comes another 2-2, and he foul tips it into the mitt for strike 3. 2 up and 2 down for Baez in the 6th.
Nice fastball in the low outside corner. Margot pulling all those balls foul down the left field line. Remind me of Gary Sheffield again. But then that located fastball makes him reach.
Ellis is 0 for 2 and has stranded 5 in his 2 at-bats, leaving the bases loaded in the 2nd and runners at 1st and 2nd in the 4th. Both runs in this game coming on Eric Hosmer's long home run against Tony Cingrani. Ellis in his 11th major league season. Rips one by a diving Taylor at short for a 2-out hit.
Quick hands on this one by A.J. Ellis. Pulling the hands in, turning the hips to get the barrel to this. Drives it into left field.
Visit coming here from Mark Pryor, who of course is the Dodger bullpen coach. Rick Honeycutt is away for personal reasons today, but set to rejoin the team Tuesday in Los Angeles.
Mark has built a great relationship with the guys his first year as the bullpen coach. That relationship started in the offseason after getting hired, reaching out and contacting guys, and then again, of course, in spring training. Fantastic career also for him. And a lot of pitching knowledge, a well-prepared man.
Post-playing career prior to coming to the Dodgers, a lot of it was spent with the Padres. Javi Guerra, 26th man this weekend for San Diego. Both teams were allowed to add one. For the Dodgers, it was Breivik Valera. Guerra making his major league debut here in Monterey. This signals the end of the day for Eric Lauer. Baez with an 0-1. Fastball whistles a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. The first batter or 2 of the game, it looked like Alfonso Marquez is going to have a big zone. Not since then, especially that high strike. Not been given in on that. 1-2. Was Mike Brito, who just got a shot of, taken in the game today. Legendary Dodger scout. It's tapped along first. It'll stay foul. He's the man that discovered Fernando Valenzuela.
I wonder if he had his radar gun out on Fernando's first pitch. I'm not sure it would have registered.
I'm not sure that it did.
Refto got it over the plate, though. It was a little low.
Brito is also instrumental in signing Julio Urias, Yasiel Puig. The list goes on and the guys that he's brought in the organization through his career. Good to see him in the house today. Guerra strikes out swinging. Pedro Baez with a scoreless 6th. Let's see if the offense can get it going against the Padres bullpen. Down 2-0.
close out the series with the Reds. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Mother's Day cosmetic bag, compliments of Cedars Sinai. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Craig Stammen, first man out of the bullpen for the Padres, facing the top of the Dodger order, delivering strike one to Chris Taylor. 2 scoreless innings last night, gave up just 1 hit. Now the Padres, while they're 12-22, the bullpen has been their biggest strength. Taylor pops one up. Villanueva didn't see it at first. Galvis has it spotted, and Taylor's the first out.
Easier here during the day with the sunglasses, not the mist and the night rain and the reflection off the lights.
Now the right-handed pitcher on the mound now. Chase Utley pinch hits for Kike Hernandez. Take strike one. Hear the wind picking up some on our field microphones. Looks like, judging by the flags in center, that it's in from left. Oh, and 2. We're in Monterrey, Mexico, but there are some pretty good English-speaking hecklers down there.
Those flags might be fooling us. Remember that ball Galvis hit? It looked like it took a ride on the wind, so maybe it is hitting the stadium and then swirling back out towards left.
Well, he takes down and away, ball 1. Dodgers beat the Padres. First 4 meetings between the team this year, but the Padres winning last night 7-4. Series rubber match. Outcome of this game will go a long way in determining how the Dodgers feel heading back to LA. And they're not going to feel good either way with the injuries they've suffered, losing Puig, Ryu, Seager, Kershaw all on this trip. And they'll be below 500 regardless of the outcome, but it at least put a little bit less bad taste in your mouth if you can finish the series and finish the trip with a win.
Now, those injuries are some deep wounds, but they're just looking for a little salve to start to heal up and get home and get some good news.
Utley hits a ground ball to first. Eric Hosmer to the bag. 2 out. They'll play 6 at home, and then it's back to the road down to Miami and DC for a 6-game road trip.
I don't think yet you appreciate last year, but I think we miss it. We miss the feeling and the way the team went. And this team's now got to write its own story. But it was a fantastic year, but this one is a complete contrast to that right now.
Matt Kemp, hottest Dodger hitter, looks at a fastball over the outside corner for a strike. That's almost like they're paying the baseball gods for how special last year was. A couple perfectly placed pitches, 0-2.
Stammen's got great movement. I'll tell you, he can, and he pitches up and down, which is exceptional. You know, a lot of good guys that have the tailing or the sinking fastball, they don't pitch up, and when they do, they pitch up with something that's straight. But he continues to throw that tailer up and be very, very effective. He doesn't have to hit a precise spot when he has that late movement.
The 1-2. Kemp tomahawks a bouncer to third. Villanueva skips one across the diamond, and Kemp's aboard. Maximum distance across the infield. Kemp's able to reach, keep the inning alive.
Matt's third hit of the day. Villanueva, I think, wanted to bounce this over there one time, but once you get the second hop and a little wide, it slows it down. Matt Kemp with all that increased speed this year, losing the weight, showed up right there, got him a hit.
He's increased his sprint speed more than any player in baseball from last year to this year. And he's 7 for 12 this weekend. Cody Bellinger to the plate, representing the tying run with 2 out in the 7th. He cuts and misses strike 1. Cody has a couple of infield singles today.
A little bit of a cheat swing right there. Cody trying to tie it up with 2 out. Just guessing fastball got it, but it was in good location.
Which pretty much has been through this whole inning from Stammen. Now an 0-1. Bellinger watches it miss by hair. 1-1.
Matt Kemp won't be going anywhere unless Cody Bellinger drives him around. He's not going to be stealing with the potential of the young man at the plate.
Takes ball 2.
They've ruled that ball of Matt Kemp's an error, throwing error.
A.J. Ellis out to talk with Stammen. So we very clearly have a Jennifer Bellinger fan here in Monterey. A 2-1. And bottom fell out. 2-2. Kemp at first with 2 out, and a 2-2 from Stammen to Bellinger. Lays off one down and away. The count goes full, and now Kemp will get a head start.
Shadows starting to creep in here as we get later in the afternoon, and it's going to get easier for the pitching, especially in the 9th inning. Be nice for Bellinger to drive Matt Kemp around.
Set from Stammen. There goes Kemp. Here's a 3-2, and it's taken high for ball 4. So the Dodgers have the tying run aboard with 2 out here in the 7th.
It's a nice at bat for Cody after starting out swinging at a fastball away on the corner. Build the count, get some good looks at him, and pass the baton
to Austin Barnes, who blistered a single into center his first time, then lined out to left. Lined out to right on a ball that he hit down the line, but just happened to have Travis Jankowski positioned over there.
Little higher launch angle on either one. They're home runs.
Wouldn't you say most consistent we've seen him barrel balls up in a single day this year?
Yeah, for sure.
See if things can even out here. 2 on, 2 out. 7th inning, 2-0 San Diego. And Barnes takes ball 1. Dodgers have stranded 9 with a 0 for 6 runners in scoring position performance.
Most of those at bats have been with 2 outs.
Stammen's 1-0. Tails back in there and evens the count on Barnes.
Austin would just like to find some outfield grass, even if it's hit weakly, get a run in. If he lines out again, somebody's going to pay, and it might be his helmet. Seen that a few times, running down to first base line, and all of a sudden the helmet pays.
Generous outside corner, 1-2. Stammen 2 innings yesterday. So 21 pitches in the follow-up today. Brad Hand and Kirby Yates, who both threw yesterday as well. With Kemp at second and Bellinger at first. Austin Barnes takes strike 3. So the Dodgers have stranded 11 and trail 2-0 as we stretch in Monterey.
Thousand people in attendance at Dodger Stadium, and take home a Justin Turner walk-off home run bobblehead presented by State Farm. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Pedro Baez worked a scoreless 6th. Here he is for the 7th against the top of the Padres order. Eric Hosmer's 2-run home run, the difference in this game. Came against Tony Cingrani in the 5th after Ross Stripling worked 4 shutout innings today. And 0-1 to Travis Jankowski. Fouled off, strike 2. Ball one.
What a night that first night was. The combined no-hitter. Walker Buehler shining in his third big league start. A special night with Fernando throwing out the first pitch. Without a come from behind victory here, I think that'll be my favorite memory from our trip here to Monterey.
Be right with you. Yimi Garcia threw an inning in that combined no-hitter. And looks like he'll throw one today. The 1-2. Coming up with a fastball. Let's check in with Alana.
Guys, it's been a cool moment that continues to be celebrated throughout this week. And in fact, right before the game today, all four of the guys that participated in the combined no-hitter, Walker Buehler, Tony Cingrani, Yimi Garcia, and Adam Limbertor, were on the field with Yasmani Grandal, who caught every single inning of that game, taking pictures. They each had a ball in their hand, holding him out. So look forward to seeing some of John Suhu's photos on that moment.
I'm sure there'll be some good ones as usual. Jankowski grounds that one fair down the right field line. And one of the fastest runners you'll find in baseball is going to easily make it to third. And they even thought about sending him home. They'll stop with the leadoff triple.
Pretty good pitch by Pedro Baez as we take a look at the Carl's Cam replay, and there's a whole lot to watch here as far as one of the more exciting plays in all of baseball, the triple. And it almost turned into what I think is the most exciting play, the inside the park home run.
Second triple in as many days for Jankowski. The infield comes in for the Dodgers, trying to keep this a 2-0 game. Pedro Baez could really use his strikeout stuff here with Hosmer standing in. Misses low, ball one. Three of his 5 homers have come against the Dodgers. One against Kenley Jansen in San Diego, and 2 in this series. He's ahead 2-0. Three balls, no strikes.
Sometimes you start avoiding the strike zone. You internally are probably thinking, at least subconsciously, that the hitter is better than you. If you can see success down by the plate, you're going to be a lot more free throwing the ball there.
3-0 green light. Came up empty. 3 balls and a strike.
Little 3-0 slider.
Jankowski at third with 1 out, and Baez to Hosmer with his 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. And the Padres are at the corners with nobody out. Dave Roberts out of that third base dugout. Looks like that's going to do it for Baez, who worked the scoreless 6th, but triple on the walk here in the 7th, and Yimi Garcia will come into a tough spot. Try and keep it right here at 2-0 on this Sunday afternoon in Mexico.
Mostly fastball slider, but the fastball explodes around the plate. He was so good prior to the surgery at spinning the ball and had a great hand to it, which created that life for that spinning action. And he has not lost a thing with the elbow surgery. They have brought him back with a new ligament. He is strong and he is flexible.
They have rebuilt him.
They really have. And not something you want to go through or choose to go through, but they have done a very nice job with him so far, and now it's just keep your fingers crossed and keep him healthy, because he looks like he's going to be a good one again.
Have to pull a magic act to keep it 2-0 here in the 7th. First and third, nobody out. In the heart of the order here for the Padres, Christian Villanueva takes ball 1. Perhaps the last opportunity for Villanueva in front of his home country fans. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talked about it earlier. He's going to be aggressive, I think. He doesn't want to leave here hitless. Got a chance to get an RBI, an easy one with no out and a man on third. And I know there's a man on first also, but I think he's just thinking about driving in the guy on third right now. He's trying to make up for the whole weekend. He might be thinking about trying to hit a 3-run homer. And you can feast on that. If you're aggressive up in the strike zone, get him to pop it up.
That's where he went, but Villanueva took it for ball 2. Slider for strike 2.
I think in the situation the Dodgers are in right now, he has to go for the strikeout on the 2-2 and the 3-2 pitch. Even if he doesn't want to throw a strike, I would try and throw something right near the edges.
Climbed the ladder with a fastball and got that pop-up you were talking about. Chase Utley drifting into short right to catch it for the first out.
You're already down 2. You're in a tough situation to prevent another one. And I think you take the risky pitch selection. They went up the ladder. This is not going to be a strike. But it jammed him and got that pop-up.
There's a good chance that Christian Villanueva finishes his return to Mexico hitless. He's 0 for 11 now. And no guarantee that he gets another chance up there. Franchi Cordero, first and third, 1 out now. I've been thinking double play. This is not an easy guy to double up. Can really fly. Out of the left-handed batter's box, no less.
I'm a little surprised that they're playing double play depth in the middle, especially when they had the infield in with no out.
Strike 1. That slider sneaks under his swing. Cordero has won for his first 18 against the Dodgers, but has gotten hits in each of his last 2 ABs. And has another hit here to bring home Jankowski, giving the Padres a 3-0 lead.
Not only is he a fast runner, not only does he have a lot of power, but boy, does he have great extension. Just reaching out away on a ball that he was a little bit fooled on, but was able to open up his swing and extend the bat out there to just poke it into left field.
They're uncharged to Baez. So 3 more allowed by the Dodger bullpen in this game. First 2 by Cingrani, and then this one to Pedro. 2 on, still only 1 out. Jose Pereira stands in. Looks at a slider that catches the corner, strike 1. The shadows you're talking about crossing the plate now. Perela's in an 0-2 hole.
A couple of these half innings have been so long, those shadows moved in a hurry, or maybe they moved at the same speed and we moved slower.
Yes, it was for sure the case. It's Kirby Yates continuing to loosen. It appears Brad Hand is sat down. Garcia's 0-2. Their slider, this one taken for a ball.
Some serious wind.
The flags still say it's in. You think they're wrong, huh?
I think the flags are correct for what's hitting them, but I think it's hitting the stadium and going back out.
Dropped a little bit low, 2-2. With Hosmer at second, Cordero at first, Perela pulls a liner to short. Taylor makes the catch and feeds to second for a double play. Nicely done by Chris Taylor to help Garcia and the Dodgers limit the damage in the seventh.
The Padres in the next couple innings. Kirby Yates, entering his 12th game, has had an outstanding year so far this year, and that opponent's batting average at 129, and he's even tougher when there's men on base, down there about 100. And right here, starting a fresh inning, and hitting for the Dodgers, Jock Peterson.
Pinch hit opportunity for him to open this eighth. In there for Kyle Farmer as the Dodgers try to get it going offensively. Opportunities all day, but they've stranded 11. Last few innings, they've only managed one hit. A lot of the base runners have come off of walks, a couple of errors in there. So Yates against Peterson. Dodgers trying to climb out of this 3-0 hole. Starts him with the fastball low. It's 1-0.
Yates created some traffic yesterday in his 2/3 of an inning. Had a walk and a hit batter also.
Native of Kauai, the Garden Island. No swing, 2-0. Had a brother pitch in the majors for a short time, Tyler Yates. Grew up following him around to the ballpark. Was a ball boy for his teams and bat boy for his older brother's teams before he got his own playing career going. On a 2-0, he rifles a strike over the inside corner. Peterson hits it hard, and it's through the shift for a leadoff single.
Ball is blistered through 3 fielders on the right side of the diamond. 2 hopper. Jock has looked very good in the box. And now starting to get a lot of results. That'll put his average over 270.
Hitting a higher frequency of line drives this year. Fewer fly balls. Of course, fewer home runs as a result, but that average climbing. On base percentage up there with the walks that he's drawn. Leadoff man aboard here in the 8th inning, and here's Alex Verdugo. Taking a strike.
Alex not used to hitting without a 300 average. His average now dipped below 300 to 296.
Takes a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yates' fastball average around 94 miles an hour. He dropped the changeup and the slider on you when he wants to change speeds.
Bounced all over the place. Tampa Bay, New York, the Angels, before finding a home with the Padres, becoming a big part of their pen. Verdugo climbs the ladder to foul it off 1-2. Important final couple innings for the Dodgers here. A loss would mean a 4-7 road trip, which is a tough thing to stomach even without the context of the injuries. They're trying to have something to feel good about coming home. Yates brings a 1-2, and Verdugo taps it foul.
Off day tomorrow, but you'd rather use that off day to say, hey, it's not that bad compared to worrying about the future.
Peterson started the inning with a single. Now Verdugo takes ball 2. Peterson hanging out at first.
No sense attempting to move up there with the risk, down 3-0 and only 6 outs to go on offense. Station to station unless it's guaranteed.
Here's Bob Guerin, who told us the other day when people tell him they love baseball because there's no clock. He says, well, there is a clock. It's 27 outs long. And trying to avoid those last 6 outs for as long as they can. Verdugo down on a nice changeup, and they're down to their final 5 outs with 1 out in the 8th.
Bottom drops out of this ball. It was exceptional. When they're that good, you can tell them it's coming, and it's hard to hit.
1 on, 1 out, and a pinch hitting Max Muncy is up there, replacing Tim Locastro. Muncy's had a nice road trip. Reaching in every game that he's played in. Included a home run in Arizona. Two balls, no strikes. It's 3-0. This one does elude Ellis for a bit, but again, Peterson staying at first. 3 balls, no strikes on Max Muncy.
Jock wandered off on this one. Looked like he was going to break, but his last glance, he saw that it didn't get too far away from AJ, so he stayed put.
Padres got a little help. The right shin guard of Alfonso Marquez there. If Muncy can reach, tying run would come to the plate here in the 8th inning. Yates on 3-0, misses high. First and second for Breivik Valera.
So what we saw with Yates yesterday. Good stuff, but sometimes it wanders around. A walk and a hit batter yesterday, and now a walk here sets the table.
Well, the Dodgers better hope this thing doesn't go too long, because Breivik Valera, their last position player. Darren Balsley, the San Diego pitching coach.
Able to come out and give a scouting report, not have it count as a visit because of the pinch hitter.
Still just one team has exceeded the 6, granted. The Angels a couple weeks ago.
And was there any penalty?
They just weren't allowed to.
They just stopped them.
Well, if you come out, you have to make a change. So they didn't try.
Gotcha.
To, they didn't test them. Valera, who's looking for his first hit in a Dodger uniform. It's Peterson at second, Muncy at first. 3-0 in the 8th. And Yates delivers a fastball for a strike.
Valera has a very good eye, and you're going to need it with these shadows now. Ball coming from the light into the shadow, into some little bit of light smattering there, and then back into the shadow.
Couple of pitches on the corner, quickly 0-2. Valera, who does not strike out much, does on 3 pitches here.
Last pitch was the easiest one to hit. Or none of them are easy, but 2 on the corner and then 1 just almost right down Broadway.
So it's up to Chris Taylor. Who's hit it hard all series. Today, though, 0 for 4. Representing the tying run and fouling off the first pitch. Dodgers 0 for 8 now with men in scoring position, and they've stranded 11. Season high, in case you're wondering, was in that 15-inning game back in Arizona, April 2nd. They stranded 19.
How's that going to get better? Well, Justin Turner took swings today in the cage with the team on the field for the first time. Yasiel Puig supposed to be back by Wednesday.
Logan Forsythe not far off from perhaps going on a rehab assignment of his own. Two on, two out, and Chris Taylor is behind 0-2. Two in the fifth, one in the seventh for San Diego. Dodgers 8 hits in this game, but nothing to show for it. Yates to Taylor with an 0-2. Struck him out. Dodgers have stranded 13 and trail 3-0 to the bottom of the 8th.
Close to 0 and hope the offense can get it going. Pitch there in Arizona, as you can see. 3 hits, an inning, 2/3. Looking for a little cleaner outing than that.
It's never easy to quickly join a major league team, you know, get the travel coordinated and everything. But how about when you need to go through customs and go to another country to join the club?
That would be interesting.
That's what Brock had to do. He'll face Freddie Galvis. And delivers strike 1.
So what's in the bag when you get to customs? it's my baseball gear.
Right. It's got to be some kind of cover.
Yeah.
What are your intentions?
So you're with the Dodgers. They've already been here for a few days.
Yeah, nice try, kid.
Come back in this room here with me. We've got to ask you some more questions.
We need to talk.
I promise I'm coming up for Clayton Kershaw. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, sure you are.
Your story's getting less and less believable, son. Galvis the first out of the 8th. Hey, I think we need to extend some special thank yous to our crew to get this series on the air this weekend. Probably wouldn't know it sitting at home watching, but it's a extra tough thing getting the show launched when you're coming to a place that isn't used to having a big-time television broadcast. So from the operations side, Bonnie Wilson, Patrick Karayan, both down here leading the way, making sure that everything's set up right. Jaime Sanchez in the booth with us and down in the field helping with audio. It's a strike on Manuel Margot. Jorge Zaragoza, who came to just be the ENG camera op, I say just, as the lone job. Been other stuff that he's needed on too, so he's been all over the place, not just doing that, but running another camera and doing ENG in the locker rooms pre and post game. Francisco Koch, our audio man. Also the guy that has to deal with our tastes when it comes to
our particular tastes.
Yes. Francisco made the trip from Los Angeles to handle the audio. Margot takes it low, and it's 2-2. Nicole Shaw, Russell Kadani, Ben Dillenberger, some of our regulars making the trip from LA as well. And extra long hours to get everything set up and on the air here. Margot pops it up. Right field, Matt Kemp. And then, oh yeah, that Mike Levy guy, that Dustin Denty guy, our producer and director. They're here too. For real though, we so much appreciate all the hard work to make this a really nice experience this weekend.
Everybody stayed pleasant even under pressure, because there were some moments that, excuse me, things had to...
Getting choked up over there, huh?
I know, I was getting a little... Especially when you mentioned Mike Levy and Dustin.
Yeah, and gonna be okay, Oral.
I know, I'm breathing through it.
A.J. Ellis takes the ball.
The ballpark is beautiful, what Major League Baseball did to get it all decorated up for the Mexico series. And then they also had to kind of wire it too to get it. So many different people wanted to broadcast here. On the Spanish side to the English side to one of the national networks came in. What, twice we had two different national networks come in.
Stewart to Ellis, 1-1. Ellis turns it around to deep left center field. Peterson back, running out of room and off of the base of the wall. Ellis with a 2-out double.
AJ would like to time that hit up differently compared to the 5 men he has left on base. He looked like he was going to be the San Diego GOAT as far as offensively, but teammates picked him up and scored 3 against the Dodgers, but now he's gotten a couple of hits of his own.
Carlos Suaje with a pinch hit opportunity, 2 gone, 8th inning. Looking ahead to the 9th. Dodgers will have Utley, Kemp, and Bellinger coming up, likely against the San Diego closer Brad Hand. One and 0. Two and 0. That's a strike to the bottom of the zone. Fouled it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carlos Suaje, after the double from Ellis, kept the inning alive. Home run from Hosmer, the big swing today. They added 1 on a base hit from Cordero last inning.
Brock Stewart's change-up action there.
Bouncing ball to first for Bellinger. That does it for the Padres in the 8th. Scoreless inning for Brock Stewart. One last chance for the offense. Down 3-0. One.
It was a blast, and he hit it up there about 15 rows. He knew it as soon as he hit it that it was gone, and that was the first 2 runs for the Padres today.
Added 1 on a Cordero single, put us where we are now, 3-0 to the 9th inning, and it's Brad Hand who got the save yesterday, trying to get another one here.
Faces a lot of right-handed hitters, and when he faces a lefty, it's about 30% of the time. There hasn't been a left-hander get a hit off him this year.
Chase Utley tries to become the first. Looks at a fastball for a strike. And yesterday gave up the leadoff single to Chris Taylor, and then 3 straight strikeouts to close the door in a 7-4 win. Padres now trying to win this series. It'd be their first series win since mid-April. Breaking pitch for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Would you chart that a curve or a slider? It's a hard one, isn't it? Yeah, because it's so big, but it's flat, so it gets charted mainly as a slider, but it's a big slider.
And that's one of those where Hand, I'm pretty sure, refers to it as his slider.
Yes. When in doubt, ask the pitcher what he calls it. But look how that's huge. I mean, I don't know. I think that's bigger than Clayton Kershaw's. I think it looks a little bit like Rich Hill's sidearm curve.
Brings a 1-2 to Utley. Turns his shoulder on one that snapped off and almost found the corner, but instead 2-2. Chase Utley starting the ninth, with the Dodgers in a 3-0 hole. Taking strike 3.
Not many sliders freeze hitters. It is so big, and it's right at Chase's front hip and then breaks all the way across the plate.
That's the last 5 outs now that have been recorded via the strikeout. And with 1 away in the ninth, Matt Kemp stands in. He's put on a good show for these fans in Monterey this weekend. His 6 hits lead the club. That included a home run. Hands 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Hand to Kemp, 1-2. Off day tomorrow. Team will get back into Los Angeles late tonight. With the added layer of travel when you're going international, you're going through customs, so they go home a little bit later than normal. Off day tomorrow. And the Diamondbacks again in for 2 Tuesday and Wednesday. When they finish that series, they'll have played 12 times already. And then a 4-game series with the Cincinnati Reds starting on Thursday night. Another 1-2 pitch. Kemp lays off. Pitching matchup, Rich Hill for the Dodgers is returned from the DL. That's Tuesday against Zach Godley. Alex Wood, Patrick Corbin, rematch of the finale from Thursday in Phoenix. It'll be Wednesday night. Both those games at 7:10.
We would love to take both those games and then pick on the Cincinnati Reds. They have a dismal record.
2 out. And it has not been pretty these last couple of innings. That's 6 consecutive outs made on strikeouts. Bellinger the last hope.
Strength of this Padre team is the bullpen, and they have shown up here this afternoon.
Good day for Bellinger. 2 hits and a walk. There's that breaking pitch for strike 1. Now fastball, and it evens 1-1. The series started so magically with a combined no-hitter. There's a 3rd consecutive win for the Dodgers after splitting the series with Arizona, winning the final 2 games there. Seven of the 10 runs that they allow in these 2 games, though, on Saturday and Sunday, come from the bullpen. And the offense, after a good start yesterday, went silent. Two on from Hand. Boy, I thought he had gotten strike 2. Hey, it's a horn. I thought we'd hear more of that, more you know, instrumentals in the stadium. That's the first one I've heard this weekend.
Especially today, you know, with the rain and the tough weather, maybe people will be hiding that stuff under their seat or not bringing it.
On a 3-1, Bellinger swings and misses, 3-2. That's it. Last 7 outs of the game, strikeouts. And the Dodgers drop 2 of 3 to San Diego and finish a 4-7 road trip.
They leave Mexico hanging in their head, but they will shake a lot of hands and say thank you for the hospitality. Now it's time to get home, have an off day, and get this thing turned around.
For Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and all the wonderful men and women that helped this weekend happen, Joe Davis saying so long from Monterrey. Thanks to the people of Monterrey and of Mexico for the hospitality. Dodgers and Diamondbacks will be Tuesday back in Los Angeles, opening a 6-game homestand. Those 2 with Arizona, the 4 with Cincinnati. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers, begins now after a 3-0 defeat at the hands of the Padres.